All right, today we're going to look at some absolute value functions. Notice, first of all, I want to look at our parent function for all of these absolute value functions. Y equals the absolute value of x. This is going to be our parent function right here. So we kind of get an idea of what all of these absolute value functions are actually going to look like. Notice it is a V shape. This continues on in this direction, it continues on in this direction over here. Notice with this, I could plug in any value for x. It is moving to the left, it's moving to the right, it's covering all x values. The domain for our parent function here is all real numbers. Our range, the possible y values, will have a lowest y value right here at 0, and then it's going up, so this is all y values greater than or equal to 0. So that is our parent function. We're going to see how it changes. Here's kind of our form that we can see how things are going to change what our absolute value function actually looks like. If we have a number on the outside of the absolute value, that is going to determine whether or not that V shape is opening up or opening down. It's also going to determine how wide or how skinny that V actually is. If A is positive, like on A and C, these are going to open up. Just like our parent function that has a positive A, it's going to open up. But these that have the negative A value, those are going to be the upside down V shape. The numbers on the inside, notice here I'm assuming I have no number directly in front of my x, and I have this h and k. That is going to determine basically my vertex, that number right, not the number, but the point right there in the middle of my V shape where it changes direction. It's always going to be the opposite value of the number grouped with the x, the same sign as the number on the outside. The opposite value of the number grouped with x, the same sign as the number on the outside. The opposite value of the number grouped with the x, the same sign as the number outside. The opposite value of the number grouped with the x, the same sign as the value outside. That even holds true for our original parent function. Opposite of the number grouped with x would be 0, and there's no number on the outside. And look, our starting, that vertex, the center here, is 0, 0. So let's look at A. Here's our parent function. Imagine here we have our parent function. I'm going to erase that for a second. Here, 2, 3 is our starting point, 2, 3. And notice the A value is the same as our original parent function. When I go over 1 in each direction, I'm just going up 1. Because my A value is a positive 1. As I go over 1, I'm going up 1. Over 1, up 1 in each direction. For B, so that was A right here. I can go ahead and state the domain and range for A. The domain, once again, is all real numbers. It's going to the left, it's going to the right. All x values are allowed. The range, the lowest value for y is 3, and my y values can be anything above that. For B, let's look at B. Our starting point is negative 3, 4. And notice my A value is a negative 1. As I go over in either direction, I'm going to go down 1. Over 1, down 1 in each direction. That creates my V shape. Yes, it is opening down, but it's just as wide as our original parent function because that is a 1 for A. This is just negative, so it flips it upside down. It reflects over the x-axis. Our domain is all real numbers. Our range is all y values less than or equal to 4. For C, this was B. Looking at C now. For C, we've got negative 8, negative 6. My a value is 3. As I go over 1, I'm going to go up 3. Over 1, up 3, over 1, up 3. Notice my a value was bigger than 1 here. It has now stretched it out. It's really skinny. And because it's positive, it is opening up. My domain, once again, is all real numbers. It's moving to the left. It's moving to the right, covering all those x values. The range is all y values greater than or equal to that -6. Finally, on D, our starting point is 6, -5. And my a value is a -1/2. As I go over 1, I'm just going down 1/2. Over 1, down 1/2. Notice it is negative, so yes, it's opening down. Our domain here, once again, is all real numbers. Because it is covering all x values, we can plug in any value for x that we want to. Our range is all y values equal to -5 or less than that. We can see that, yes, it equals -5 right here, but we also are covering all those y values going down from